delivering exceptional expertise through innovation. For this, I would like to call upon the stage Mr. Nitin Khare, Senior Sales Engineer, Avaya. Well, with the help of each of you, we would like to call upon the stage Mr. Nitin Khare, and he's a seasoned pre-sales executive offering over 17 years of experience in implementing successful sales strategies and motivating highly galvanized team to produce significant results. He adapted at discerning and executive effective sales strategies to build and nurture sales funnel. He is an exemplary communicator with the passion and drive needed to cultivate and forest professional and profitable relationship while maintaining trust of our customers. So guys, can we please big round of applause for Mr. Nitin Khare?
Hello, check. Yeah. So, good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome. Let me start by just making a statement for you. Delivering exceptional customer service, that's a piece of cake. Now, would you dare to agree with me? I guess not, right? So, what has happened is that the world has changed in the last decade or so, and especially with the pandemic coming in, right? So, it acted as a catalyst and accelerated the way this world is changing. Now, it has changed our very perspective towards everything in life, right? For example, the way we shop, the way we eat, the way we travel, right? So, initially when you wanted to shop, right, you would probably visit a market or a mall and go ahead and buy something for yourself. But the change that we're seeing today is that most of us now would tend to order from popular e-commerce websites like Amazon or Flipkart, right? Especially to get that choice and those variations that we require, which are actually not possible by going to a market by ourselves. If you talk about the way we eat, right? So now with the advent of food aggregators like Zomato and Swiggy, the choices are limitless. Similarly, in the travel industry as well, right? With Agoda and Airbnb, we have completely transformed the way we travel. Gone are those days where we used to visit to a travel agent to book tickets and get a couple of hotel choices, right? But now with the travel portals around the world, we are spoiled for choice. We get multiple options in every budget at every location that we require. Similarly, if we talk about fitness, when you visit any gym, right? So they would have specialized and personalized training programs available for you. How do they make those programs, right? So they use technology at the back end to customize it, to tailor make it for you. Basis certain inputs that they gather, they are able to do it. So what basically I'm trying to say is that we have evolved into an experience economy where the experiences are valued much more than the actual product or the services that we tend to buy. And this has happened over a period of time where people are giving more value to the experiences that they are consuming rather than the actual products or services, right? And so there are a lot of examples in our current market scenario that we can look at, right? Now, what this experience economy has done is it has also changed the persona of the customers that we interact with. Now, Gartner likes to call this kind of a customer who values the experience much more than the actual product as an everything customer. And what kind of a customer is this? This is a very, very demanding customer. So at one point of time, uh, they would ask for something, and in the same breath, they would ask you to provide a totally conflicting experience. For example, they would always like to be connected, but at the same time, they would like to be left alone as well. So, what does this mean? That they would like to connect to you with the channel of their choice. It could be email or chat or web, but at the same time, they would not like you to collect any personal data from themselves. Now, they also like to be treated equally when it comes to a comparison with other personas, right? And at the same time, they would also want to be served very uniquely. They want you to surprise them pleasantly, give them a tailor-made or custom-made experience that would differentiate your company or organization from any other experiences that this customer might have had in the past. Uh, they also look at, when they interact with you, they're looking for a huge range of features to be provided. But at the same time, the entire experience should be effortless as well. It should not be complicated at all. It should be very, very easy to use. So the current persona of this customer is a very, very demanding customer, and that is why we call him the everything customer. Now, when it comes to delivering experiences, right? So there are 4 kind of experiences that we can talk about. One is our customer experience, the employee experience, the user experience, and the multi experience. Now, as the name suggests, customer experience is what you would actually make your customer go through when they interact with you, when they engage with you as a company or as an organization, right? Then you have a certain set of employees who are waiting to serve those customers. So what kind of enablement you do for your employees? What kind of tools are there that you provide to your employees so that they could carry out their tasks, right? And when you arm those employees with the right set of tools and technology, they would be able to service your customers in a much better fashion. And that's what we call as employee experience. Now, when it comes to user experience, so a user could be a customer, an employee, anybody who is using or leveraging technology or any of the tools that are available, right? So the user experience has to be consistent. It has to be derived in a format that it is very, very easy to use. It should make the life of the user easy. It should not complicate things. And then we talk about multi-experience, right? So multi-experience talks about how you engage or interact with each other. So it could be making a phone call, getting SMS, interacting on a Facebook or WhatsApp, right? So we should not limit the user for any kind of interaction by putting a cap of a channel on the person who is trying to interact with you, right? So we should always be open to multi user and multi-channel experience. And when you take care of all these 4 things, what you get is a total experience. And this is what we should strive to deliver to all our clients and people who we want to service, right? So if you are able to create this total experience and make your customer understand that once they interact with you or with any particular organization, we are trying to address everything in form of a total experience, right? Now let's see how do we deliver this total experience, right? So we at Avaya, we try to address it using 4 pillars, right? First is getting connected, then process orchestration, managing resources, and then knowledge and insight. Now all these 4 pillars have a certain element of AI working at the back end. Now if you talk about getting connected, this is how you engage your end customers or clients? How do they, what is the means are you providing for them to connect with you? It could be, voice, email, chat, SMS, WhatsApp, anything that you want. Then how do you orchestrate your processes? How do you ensure that once the customer is connected, how do you take that journey through so that you provide that exceptional customer experience to the person who is coming in? Then managing resources. How do you manage all the resources which are available at hand so that you make the optimal use and ensure that you deliver what is expected out of you? Finally, the knowledge and insight. So while you take the customer out on this journey using these three pillars, you would be generating a lot of knowledge, data, which needs to be analyzed and then used in a certain fashion so that you could derive meaningful results which can help you make very intelligent business decisions as well. Now, if you talk about getting connected, right? So this is what the Gartner report says, that by the end of this year, about 70% of people would prefer to use speech as a preferred means of communication. So when I say speech, it is not a voice call. Instead of hitting a traditional IVR, they would prefer to talk to a voice bot or a speech bot, as we say. So what that does is it saves a lot of time for the customer. They don't have to traverse through complex IVR menus, press 1 for this, press 2 for that. They could come straight to the point, and as soon as they hit a voice bot or a speech bot, they simply say that, hey, I'm looking for this kind of a service. And the speech bot is also intelligent enough nowadays, it is very matured, so that it can respond to the customer straight to the point and take the interaction towards closure in the first go itself. Now, what I've seen is that, again, as per this report, 3 out of 4 millennials nowadays, they prefer to engage with a particular organization using messaging apps, messaging channels. It could be WhatsApp or Facebook or Twitter, for that matter, right? So instead of sending a traditional email or calling up a contact center to talk to them, they would prefer to send out a simple text, and they expect to get a resolution for the issue that they're trying to raise when they are engaging with you on those specific channels. Well, this is the reality, and the organizations today, they are also shifting in this way. So now if you see that every organization would have a Facebook page or an Instagram page or a WhatsApp bot running, right? So these people who are trying to connect with you, so that they can connect easily and you don't force them to a specific channel in order to connect with you. Last part is that one more interesting thing that Gartner says is that 40% of contact center interactions, right, they would be fully automated using artificial intelligence. So what that means is that the moment you bring in AI, you are able to bring in a lot of automation into the entire workflow, where certain repetitive tasks, they can be done by the machine itself. There are some complex tasks which can also be automated, getting certain inputs from the customer who is trying to connect with you. And what it basically does is it increases your speed of resolution, speed to address a particular query, and it totally reduces the factor of human error. While I say this, the AI is still in a phase where it is maturing, so it is not at 100% as of now, but with the automation that it brings in, you would be able to enhance the experiences multifold. Now, one of the most important aspects of using AI into customer experiences is when we use conversational AI. So Avaya works with a lot of conversational AI partners. For example, we have Nani, Nuance, Google CCAI, and SESTech, right? So these are all technology partners for Avaya, and we can choose either of these depending on a specific use case, a specific geography that you want to address, or a specific regional language or a foreign language that you want to interact with, right? So these are the core components which form the conversational AI for us, and which in turns uses the NLP and the NLU at the back end to interact with the customers or with the clients by automating the transactions or the conversations, and so as to bridge the gap of a machine versus a human. So if you interact using a conversational AI, you would be very close to getting an experience that you're actually interacting with a human rather than a machine. Now, if I talk about use cases of conversational AI, these are few: customer support, outbound lead generation and collections, CSAT, onboarding, reminder notifications. So all these tasks can be automated using conversational intelligence, which as of today we are still using human agents to do this. We are running campaigns for collections, we are running campaigns to collect feedback. Everything can be automated, and we can free up valuable human resources from these kind of tasks. We also provide channel freedom, so we don't restrict our customers to connect with us just voice or email. These are the few channels that we work on, and specifically I would want to talk about video. During the pandemic, everybody kind of got very, very comfortable with video using online meeting platforms like Zoom or Teams or Google Meetings, right? So now this acts as a very important channel for customer service as well. So what we have seen is that we have a lot of BFSI organizations who want to do KYC, right? So a lot of banks and FSI organizations are doing video KYC now. We are setting up kiosks at different places to do an online form filling. We are using it for face detection. We are using it for biometrics, right? So the use cases are endless, but yes, now we are seeing a paradigm shift in terms of engagement of customers from a simple voice or a phone call to these multiple channels. Now, if we talk about managing resources, right? So, as a few of the speakers earlier said, and we also understood the value of a good CRM tool into your customer engagement, right? So, we have the capability to sit inside the CRM itself, right? It could be a ServiceNow, or it could be a Salesforce, it could be a Microsoft Dynamics, right? So we have to capability to build the contact center journey and the entire offering into the same CRM. So you don't have to flip and switch between multiple screens. You don't have to worry about not focusing on your CRM while you are interacting with the customer. Another thing is that we also would want to do some AI agent assist, right? So while the people at the contact center are trying to engage with the customers, trying to help them to the best of their abilities, but there are some times when they would a little help would be nice for them, right? So we are using AI to provide real-time prompts, real-time knowledge-based articles, real-time suggestions to the agents who are handling the customers. It could be a voice call while somebody is talking to a customer, and let's say a customer says that I want help with a refund. As soon as my system hears the word refund, it would throw 2 or 3 articles which are a close match for doing a refund for that customer. Similarly, if the customer is interacting via chat, right, or a chat bot, and if he says something to an agent on a chat, we could immediately push relevant data which that agent can use in real time to close that interaction then and there, rather than him making the customer wait and then looking up something at the back end to do it. He would be able to close the thread then and there itself. Another part is the automated quality management. This is also a very, very important pillar. So nowadays what happens is that if you have a contact center running about 100 odd seats, and if you're getting 10,000 odd calls per day, so if you want to analyze those calls, you would typically have a quality analyst or a quality management team. So the sample size that they would take to analyze those calls would be somewhere between 1 to 3%. Now what AQM does for us is that it gives you the capability to automate this task of doing quality checks on the calls which are recorded, and it would do it automatically, and it would do it for 100% of your calls. So your sample size, which was 1 to 3%, goes to 100%. Okay, the last pillar is the knowledge and insights. So one very classic use case is our speech analytics. We use AI-based speech analytics. So we understand why the customers are calling us, why the customers are sending us email, what is the single most common problem across all the customers, or what is it that is working really well for us. So you don't have to dig into recordings, you don't have to send out surveys. The speech analytics would do this task automatically for us. Not only it will do this task, it will publish reports scheduled to send those reports at certain interval, and the contact center or the customer care department would keep on getting these kind of insights at a regular interval without any manual intervention. Then next part is the voice to text transcription. This is also a very, very interesting use case. What it does is it tries to transcribe what you're saying on a phone call, right? So we imagine a company which has field agents, right, who visit the customer premises regularly, interact with the customers. End of the day, those guys come back to office, log into their CRM that whatever they have done throughout the day, and then they go home. Using something like a voice transcription, what we can do is that while they are at the customer site and when they are moving towards their car or bike to go to the next customer, in that time itself they could simply call up a number, identify themselves, say what has happened with this customer. Our system will automatically transcribe that, push that into the CRM, and send a confirmation back to that specific engineer that your transaction is updated. So we are actually saving a lot of time here and providing this newer capability to all the field agents. And last not the least is my process orchestration. It's a way we shape up the entire customer journey, right from the point the call arrives or the interaction arrives into the company. How do we send it to the call center? What is the logic that we apply? We can do something called as behavioral pairing, where we analyze what kind of a customer is calling me. Is he a VIP customer, gold customer, silver customer? Is he an existing customer, new customer? Based on these parameters, I would be able to choose the best agent available at that point of time in my contact center and do this match or pairing. So what it does is that it obviously enhances the experience for the customer because he is getting the right skill set to address his or her issues, and also it gives an agent gives the agent a chance to know something about the customer that he's going to interact with beforehand by form of a screen pop. So how do we do this? We have our Avaya Experience platform, which is our flagship omni-channel cloud-based contact center as a service, and we have the capability to deliver it to you as a pure SaaS model. We could even do it on premise if you want. We could host it for you on an infrastructure as a service platform like Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, or Google. So we don't let the technology limit the offering that we have. So whatever the use case may be, we are there and we will be able to address that. And this is just an example of the experience filters. This is a partner ecosystem that we work with. So our entire stack is very, very open. We have APIs available for integration across all platforms. And these are some of the existing vendors that are already working with Avaya in this space. So thank you. Thanks so much for your time. And if you have any feedback for me, any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them for you once we meet outside during our breaks. Thank you.
Wait to wait.